Joe Biden's fitness to continue as president, let alone return to the White House, has been called into question after he described himself as a poor old man who was under special investigation over his handling of classified documents. Memory: Robert Hur said President Biden intentionally withheld and released classified material after he was vice president and when he was a private citizen, and his actions represents a serious threat to national security. Prosecutors, however, said they decided not to file criminal charges after a 15-month investigation because Mr. Biden was cooperating and it would likely be difficult to convict him. He wrote in his report. Hur said Mr. Biden's memory was significantly limited when questioned by members of his prosecution team. According to the report, he did not remember when he was vice president or when his son Beau Biden died. And President Biden did himself no favors trying to convince the American public of his fitness for office when, in a press conference after the special counsel's decision, he shamed the presidents of Mexico and Egypt for giving aid to Gaza. Former President Donald Trump, who faces 40 counts of withholding classified documents, criticized the decision not to indict Biden as a sign of a two-tier legal system. Biden, whose vice presidency began in January 2009 and ended in January 2017, said he was fully cooperating, expressed satisfaction with the decision, and said he would agree to a 5-hour personal interview after Hamas' more than 2 days attack on Israel on October 7 last year. Richard Sabel, special advisor to the president, said that mistakes in packing documents when leaving the office are unfortunately common, and it has happened in every administration for the last 50 years. But he added that the White House disagreed, a series of inaccurate and inappropriate comments in the report of the special counsel. The report could embarrass Mr. Biden, 81, amid criticism that he is too old to serve another 4-year term, and he has sought to draw contrasts with Mr. Trump on personal ethics and national security. The investigation found that Mr. Biden took classified information about the U.S. war in Afghanistan and other national security matters. Mr. Biden told the author, who was working on his memoirs at his Virginia home, which he rented in February 2017, that he had just found all the classified stuff below. The author deleted audio recordings of conversations with Mr. Biden after learning of the investigation, Mr. Hur said, but he kept the transcripts. According to Mr. Hur's report, the discussion generated, at best, of the allegations against Biden, but he also wrote that documents may have been taken to his home while he was vice president, if he had the authority to do so. Members of Biden's legal team found classified documents at his Washington think tank office and at his personal residence in Wilmington, Delaware. What is the difference in the case of Donald Trump? In his statement, Mr. Trump described the report and decision as unconstitutional election litigation, as he fights his case around the seizure of confidential files. Although there are similarities between the two cases, there are also important differences. Trump was indicted after prosecutors said he refused to hand over boxes of presidential documents at Mar-a-Lago, Florida for months, and took steps to cover up the documents after the U.S. government demanded they be returned. According to prosecutors, an FBI search in August 2022 turned up people. He pleaded not guilty and accused prosecutors of being politically motivated ahead of a trial scheduled for May, which is likely to be delayed. Mr. Biden's lawyers said they notified the National Archives after finding a small amount, from documents declassified in November 2022. Other documents were later found in the garage and library of his Delaware home and turned over to the Department of Justice.